My name is Tamithy Howrigan, and I am the broker of the RE/MAX North Professional St. Albans office, and I'm also the team leader of Tamithy Howrigan Real Estate. I have been in the industry for 9 years. Well, I actually got into real estate. I was waitressing at a local restaurant, and I had a friend that said there was an agent looking for an admin. And I took that opportunity to kind of transition out of the restaurant industry. I was 23. And so I started as a part-time admin, and I will say I do think not only the restaurant industry and that experience, but the experience of being an admin before being an agent really allowed me to take in a lot of information and get a better understanding of what the industry is really like and what the role of an agent really does. It's not just opening doors and looking at pretty houses. So there's a lot that I got to take in for 3 years as an admin before I was actually an agent. I think if you're in any industry where it's relationship focused, relationships don't stop. They evolve over time, and so it's not you wake up and you get ready and then you show up to the office and all of a sudden you begin work and then you leave work and you're done. So I'm on the phone at 9 o'clock at night. I'm on the phone at 8 o'clock in the morning. I do, I have a 2-year-old, so I do try and find a way where we can navigate, but really it's the way of life because you kind of live, eat, and breathe it. Like it's like my son, my family, my friends, and real estate, and those are all in my mind all the time. At the end of the day, our end result and our end goal is that all of our clients have a really good experience and that we have a good experience, we enjoy our day, and that everyone gets what their end goal is. I actually reached out to a lot of the brokers in this area earlier this year and said, I think we can do better. I think that we can do more together. I think we're stronger together, and I value you and I appreciate what you've done for this industry, and I realize that my role in it might be new or I might not have been doing this for 25 years, but I appreciate what you've done to get to this point, and I appreciate the business you've built, and I appreciate you as a person. If we have not taken the time to know who each other is and support each other's success inside and outside of transactions, we're doing a disservice to our industry, and we're doing a disservice to our clients at the end of the day. I grew up with her children, but a good person in town who's involved in a lot, I was talking to them about Operation Happiness, and I said, how can I make sure I know everything? I know about certain organizations, but how can I learn more so that I'm giving back more? And I don't want to just write a check. I want to physically be there and be involved and support these amazing groups. And she recommended 100 Women Who Care, and that's a group of 100 women from Franklin County. They get together quarterly. We are very close to having 100 women, and with 100 women there, 3 nonprofits get nominated and chosen each quarter. They get 5 minutes to present their mission, and then we get 5 minutes to ask them questions, and then we all vote, and whichever one gets chosen essentially gets almost or will get $5,000 donated to their charity, and you get to learn more about the charities. Everyone's very passionate about being Franklin County focused and that their efforts result in the support of Franklin County. There's other nonprofits that I just know about that I've always been near and dear to my heart that I always want to support, as you might know. It's a great family in our community that is always building playgrounds. And so we are hosting a fundraiser in a couple weeks with the Chamber and with the St. Albans Rec Department to raise funds for the playground. So we value our business in a way that allows us. Our efforts and our activities don't just mean that we've sold a certain number of houses and we've helped a certain number of clients. These are families we've helped, and that allows us to support the community and the families that we are surrounded by. I was contacted by a guidance counselor from a local high school, and I'm hoping to work with not only that school but other schools in the area. We've had 2 job shadows. We have another one coming in next week. They get to come in, I go over what we do on a daily basis. I try and see if there's any activities, any questions I can answer. So that's more of like an in-person learning opportunity. But going into the school is something we're actually hoping to do every semester with that personal finance class. And the goal is the game of life. We're kind of trying to do our own spin on real life. So what happens when you have this interest rate and you want to buy this home and all of a sudden you've bought an older home and the furnace dies and something comes up. So it's just giving them a glimpse of the reality of what it means to build a home, but also the opportunity of buying at a young age and having the ability to own a duplex, own a small family home, and put sweat equity in, and what that means for your future down the road. And I think a lot of people forget that if you own something, if you play the long game, the home, in the last 5 years, the value of homes has gone up 55.3% in Vermont on average in 5 years. So if you took 30 years and you bought a home when you were 22, that means when you were 52, even if it still only went up 55%, that's just equity, that's just money for your future. And imagine if we all owned a home when we were 22. So knowledge is power. And I think that that's an opportunity for students in our area. So last year, at the beginning of the year, I took like a moment to go, what's influencing my mind? What am I let influencing me? And what am I taking in? And I was a fairly new mother. So I started to look for podcasts, and I ended up finding this podcast called Moms in Real Estate. And I was listening to it, and I started following them on social media, and I sent them a message on Instagram and said, I love your podcast. It's so refreshing to know that you can be a working mom and be a good mom. And I really appreciate that, and I listen to it often, and it's meant a lot to me. I've considered getting out of the industry. I thought I might be bad at it. And they asked me to come on the podcast. And when I was a guest on their podcast, because I said yes to something else, after that, they talked about these events they do every year in Arizona called Flourish, which is for women in business. And I remember saying to my admin, imagine if they asked me to speak at that. That would be incredible. I would never do that. And like a month later, they were like, would you speak at our event? And I said yes. And the relationships that I've built from that relationship, two of them are actually my coaches still, and I do coaching calls with them twice a month. So the qualities that we look for our team, a lot of offices are like, we want experience, we want this, we want that. I know this is a relationship thing, so I'm focused on the person. One of my coaches had a great line. It was like, people are going to be interested. You got to figure out who's committed because you're obsessed. And so I really look at that model and are they interested in doing real estate? Are they interested in being on this team, or are they committed to our mission? And so when we revamped our team agreement, the first page is, this is our mission. This is our culture, these are our values, this is what I offer as the team leader, and these are our standards. And if you feel that you match that and you feel that you are in line with what our culture and our values are, then there can be room for you on this team. I have always been very people-driven and very driven by the connections and by the relationships that can be built with people. I think I'm in a space right now where I say yes to what I think I should say yes to, and I make time for what I think is important, and a lot of that is people, and a lot of that is relationships, and a lot of that is being somebody that somebody feels they can lean on. I would love to have as many people as possible attend the Mixer at Howrigan on June 15th. I think it's a really great cause. It's an opportunity to network, and it's an opportunity to be around people at a great location. I mean, they're doing so much more development at Howrigan, and they're doing a lot of great things. And so above all else, we're always available. We are real estate consultants. We're always available to answer your real estate questions. But if there's anything that you're interested in being involved in, and if you're interested in learning more about the Chamber, or if you're interested in learning more about how you can support a really great project in St. Albans, then I hope you attend. I said a lot, I'm so sorry. I have a tendency to do that. Sometimes I talk too much.